There's a little more graphing that we have to do, but before we do our graphing, we have to talk about what are called inequalities, and hopefully you learned about inequalities in 6th or 7th grade. Inequalities are essentially the math version of a picture is worth 1,000 words. If you think of that phrase, what it's saying is that if you have like a new puppy and you want to tell your friends all about your new puppy, you can describe your new puppy, you can talk about the color, you can talk about how much the puppy weighs or how much hair it has or its tail or whatever. But if you just bring in a picture of the puppy, then that saves all of that description that you give. And an inequality is a math sentence that compares expressions. And we use the 4 symbols less than, greater than, less than or equal to, or greater than or equal to in an inequality. So let's look at the phrasing of when you might use which particular symbol. If you see the phrase is greater than or is more than, you're going to use the greater than symbol. If you see the phrase is less than or is fewer than, you're going to use the less than symbol. If you see is greater than or equal to, is at least, is no less, you're going to use the greater than or equal to symbol. And if you see is less than or equal to, is at most, or is no more, then it's going to be less than or equal to. And as you get more familiar with these, it will come more logically to you which symbol to use, but for now we're going to just focus on the phrasing. When we go to graphing these, we're going to do 2 types of graphing. One is going to be on just a straight number line, and the other is going to be on the coordinate grid. If we're on the number line, we're going to use an open circle, and it's going to point to the right. If it's less than, we're going to use an open circle, and it will point to the left. If it's greater than or equal to, we'll use a colored in circle, and it will point to the right. If it's less than or equal to, we'll use a colored in circle, and it will point to the left. So let's see how this all plays out. They want us to translate letter A, and so I'm just going to read it as it's written, and then I'm just going to translate it. A number W, so that's W, minus 3.5 is less than or equal to 2, negative 2. And that's all they want us to do is just to translate. Unlike equations, you can have multiple solutions to an inequality. An inequality can have more than one solution. The set of all solutions of an inequality is called the solution set. So what we want to do in the next couple of questions is determine if something is in the solution set. So they've done one for us. They said we want to see if negative 6 is a solution to this inequality. So instead of x, they put negative 6. And then since this is a true statement, negative 1 is greater than or equal to negative 2. It's greater than, right? So as long as you meet one of the symbol names, you're correct. Then this is a solution. So let's try another one. Let's try positive 4. So 4 plus 5 is less than or equal to negative 2. Well, that's certainly correct. So that's a yes. And now let's try negative 100. So negative 100 plus 5. Well, that's not true, right? Because negative 95 is actually less than negative 2. So this would be a no. So negative 100 is not in the solution set. Why don't you pause the video and try example 2 on your own. I want to see if negative 4 is in the solution set. So I talked about the circles and the arrows, and here's where we're actually going to use it. The graph of an inequality shows all the solutions of an inequality on a number line. So this is how we graph. They want us to graph y is less than or equal to negative 3. So I'm going to make a number line, and I'm just going to center it at negative 3. I'll just put one number to the right of negative 3 and one number to the left so I can kind of get my bearings on where I am located on the number line. And in the table, we said that less than or equal gets a colored in circle, and it points to the left. So you can pick any point in this colored in shaded region. As long as it's in the colored shaded section, then it is considered a solution. Anything that's not colored in is not a solution. If you have any questions, write them down and ask me when you see me next.